which is specializing in evolutionary astrology. If you would like a book, a personal reading with me, you can hit me up at arainystorm.wix.com/info. All that information is in the link below. And if you are new here, welcome to my humble abode. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what got you here. I don't know what brought you here, but I just thank you for coming through. We are getting into the Aquarius moon in astrology, in terms of the past lives and also your relationship to the divine feminine, aka Mama Dukes. So let's go ahead and roll into it. First off, let's go ahead and talk about what does the moon mean in astrology. Specifically, we talk about the moon being, well, I like to say, when it comes to the home, right? Think about the house. The moon could be housed in the bedroom, which is the most intimate parts of yourself, the parts of yourself that many people might not know, the parts of yourself that many people that aren't really close to you don't understand. But when they get there, they might be able to go into that bedroom. This is where your vulnerabilities lie. Let me get some water real quick. This is where your vulnerabilities lie. This is where your hidden fears, also your emotional state and things lie as well. One second. Drink your water. All right. Oh, hold on. I feel like I'm just, hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. All right, cool. My bad, I had to adjust real quick. I be so jumpy. Excuse my Mars and Gemini. Goddamn. Yeah, what was I saying? Yes. So, hidden fears, hidden desires. This is also, the moon is also the keeper of time. This is also where you can see stories of the past, and also the relationship to the mother's house here with the moon. So, when we talk about the Aquarius moon, honestly, the Aquarius moon excites me. Excites me quite a bit more than I realize, of just the past life incarnation or past life experience that Aquarius moon actually went through or was a part of, because it was definitely something that had to be revolutionary. Aquarius is the sign of revolution. It is the alchemizing of something old into something new. And even though it's ruled also too by Saturn, there's an esque to it that kind of is in a place of like breaking the rules, right? I don't know why this song is coming in my head right now, but I know if y'all haven't seen it, y'all have to go look it up. But on TikTok, there's this sound. It's like, I know tonight's the night tonight, and I will fall for you over again. Don't let me change my mind. Is what I think of Aquarius. It's just like this rebellious teenager is like, no, I don't want to go to school. Like, I don't want to, And so this is natural like rebellion to Aquarius that really just wants to make this complete shift. So this ancestry who, this is like the freedom fighters here with Aquarian energy. I also was channeling as I was writing at the Black Panther Party. I'm not saying that all y'all ancestors were Black Panther parties, but you get the gist of it. Maybe they formed different collectives that were fighting towards a greater cause. Like there's just a group of or collective of people that were doing this. Now, I could definitely say this also, this ancestry, could have went a couple of different ways. Another way that you could have had ancestors who maybe, they just lived outside the walls of society. They were outcast, maybe they got kicked out of, their tribes, villages, places of living, because of their beliefs, because of the things that they believed in, because of the things that they subscribed to. And, just had to live outside of, the society, whereas Capricorn can be pretty fixated in its rules and regulations. Aquarius is the energy that's like, we don't really resonate with these laws. We don't really resonate with how y'all are living. Like, we kind of want to do things different. And society's like, well, if you're not going to follow the rules, then you got to go. And so Aquarius could have went off with the soul tribe and was like, you know what? We just going to start our own stuff. We're going to make our own rules. We're going to do our own thing, I wouldn't even be surprised if, I know we talk about Mercury, Gemini, we talk about Geminian energy of talking about like trade and things, even to a degree Sagittarius of like trade and stuff. But I would even think that Aquarius is a part of the barter and trading system as well. So maybe they had a big hand in that of like, trading goods and stuff, and because uh, Aquarius is like this web, right? It creates these different webs amongst people, collectives amongst people. So maybe they had a hand, ancestry had a hand in like trading and, going against the grain of like the economy or economics of the society and things like that. So if they were kicked outside the walls of society, then maybe they're the way that they traded goods for services looked completely different than the inside of the society and things. Also, too, there's a high level of intelligence here. I like to call Aquarius genius, level of intelligence. This is like the mad scientist in the lab, waiting for work, cooking. You know what I mean? Like this is the energy of Aquarius that is, just really ahead of its time. Like it can really see things. I always use the analogy of like Aquarius being the one that's like, you know, I got this idea to create this phone. So maybe, back in the day, your ancestry was like, let's go to the Comedians, right? When we talk about like this advanced technology and things like that, maybe, who knows that they started creating portals at one point in time. And Aquarius is like, I know how to time travel, and I know, if we click this button and maybe we can go to this place instead. And they were, ancestry who might have had a hand in that and also helping to build the pyramids as well. So you could have definitely seen this in your ancestry coming up. You can also have seen, just like I said, just progressive and humanitarian pursuits, social gatherings and groups. Like I said, the Black Panther Party, everybody kind of sharing this common goal. Also, too, I want to say on the opposite end of that, because Aquarius does also rule this as well. I know we talk about Scorpio being in this kind of energy with the cults. But Aquarius also was probably having people drink that Kool-Aid too. Not to say now, depending on how it's aspected, like I said, we always talk about the aspects and things like that per se. But, just in general, like this is like a cult following of people. And so one of the things that, Aquarius moon has to be careful of, and even maybe just struggle with in this ancestry, is not allowing these ideals that might become sometimes dogmatic, um, because you're leaving this specific system that kind of kept you oppressed, not falling into the same area of being in a place where you are forcing the hand of the people that live amongst you. So maybe you could have had ancestors who really took this in stride and full and really were combating the system, or you could have had ancestors that probably or could have had a hand in, maybe being a part of cults and things like that, or some type of organized religion or organized secret society or something like that, that, not too many people knew about, not too many people spoke about, but it was definitely there as well. Could have also definitely just like, I put living in a matrix, but understanding but how to break out. So, I always say Aquarius and even a Pisces is just like one of those things in signs where it's like I'm kind of in this world, but I'm not of this world with Moon and Aquarius. It's like you see through all of the things going on around you. You know how these things are linked and connected. So maybe you had ancestors who were like, I know how all of these things are connected, but like, why am I here? Like, this is not my home. And, this is, and like I said, anciently, maybe that was a little bit different because I was channeling heavily Palladian energy for Aquarius for some reason when I was writing. Like, I just kept hearing Palladians specifically here. So I mean, if we want to take it way back, then maybe then, you know, Aquarius is like, oh, okay, well, this is my kind of people, you know, I'm comfortable here type shit. But, you know, moving on down the line, you know, Aquarius kind of just kind of looks around as, you know, these different portals are made and society goes on. And it's like, what kind of place, where am I? Like, what, you know? So this is some of the things that Aquarius could have, you know, just experienced here. I'm gonna also talk about Aquarius and just having ancestors who are a part of the upper echelon as well as the council. So maybe having these, like I said, humanitarian pursuits and being a part of these collectives. You know, Aquarius was the people and the ones that people would come to when they needed to work out a problem amongst groups. Maybe, you know, you have people who, you know, are ancestors, you know, are people just wanting to figure out how they can move forward in society, or maybe these different conglomerates of like villages that come together. In Aquarius, you could have had ancestors that were actually a part of a council that were like, you know, well, this is kind of like what we're doing in our community, you know, could y'all lend resources over here, you know, or being able to put people in the position to move these certain pieces and things like that. So you could have definitely seen that here. Um, just understanding, also too, is another thing that I was channeling as I was writing this, was just like, um, just having this inner connection to the Palladian, or like Andromeda galaxy, like a bigger star system. You know, I even was thinking about just abductions as well, you know, for these ancestries and things like that, of just being in spaces where, you know, maybe that they were abducted and, you know, just even having like these supernatural, you know, I know this is getting a little, you know, but I was just thinking of like just having like these supernatural abilities and capabilities that could have actually got them ostracized from society. And I know a lot of times we talk about clairvoyance and psychic gifts and abilities, and things like that, but it can go a little bit deeper than that. I know we see X-Men, you know, and these different hero shows that we think are just like fake and fraudulent, but in actuality, we actually do harness these gifts more than often than not than we actually realize and we know. And so these are some of the things that could have came up from Aquarius. You could also have had ancestors that were actually astrologers and, you know, delve in kind of like Scorpio into taboo, um, you know, knowledge and things like that. And, you know, maybe they were talking about these things to the masses and people were just like, Aquarius, you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? And, you know, and also too, there's a part of Aquarius here too. So you could have had ancestors as well that, even though they were not afraid of, you know, or they might have lived outside the walls as an outcaster, or just an outcaster to some degree, you know, even like I said, just living amongst villages and tribes and stuff like that, there just could have been a part of your ancestry that could have struggled with rejection because of their ideas, because of their beliefs, because of kind of sometimes being kind of like the oddball out. And it could have really affected them in a deep way to feel very disconnected sometimes from the greater society. Even though sometimes it might have brought them great peace, there was other times that it brought them uh not I don't it's not disassociating, but just just being in that energy of not feeling accepted in the greater community and things like that. So that's just some things to think about. Now, when it comes to, oh, before I go to the mother relationship, like I say all the time, or like I'm starting to say, um, definitely like the video if you haven't already. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, and also as well, leave a comment below. I love to read y'all's comments and hear about what y'all think. If you do have an Aquarius moon, or you know somebody that has an Aquarius moon, you know, if there's anything that you wanted to add to the conversation, please do. And also that link is below for personal readings, bookings as well, and also my courses. Um, and when I will have more on the way soon as well. Now, when it comes to the Aquarius moon here, uh, mother relationship specifically. You could have had a mother that had a pretty rebellious spirit. It just was kind of like eccentric in a way, maybe just kind of out of this world, you know, with her ideas and beliefs. Um, maybe you, you know, lived a completely different life. Like your life was just not a, you know, it now, like I said, it could go a couple of different ways. You know, this doesn't pertain to everybody specifically, but you know, maybe she had these ideas or beliefs about the world that, you know, you could have even separated from the greater society. You know, like maybe you lived on a farm somewhere in the middle of nowhere, or maybe you didn't use cell phones growing up in the family, you know, or just certain things like that, or maybe you heard like different stories. You know, some, I don't know, I'm thinking about this, like maybe like in the 60s or something like that, and she was out, you know, protesting and things. So these are some of the things that could have been brought up, you know, just with the relationship to the mother. Now, I will say that, especially just having like this energy with Aquarius, you could have also had a mother that was distant, like not only like physically distant, but also emotionally distant. So some Aquariuses could have just experienced like a mother that maybe just wasn't readily available, um, like physically available, and maybe there was just like this certain, you know, or if it wasn't physically emotionally available, just being um just not all the way being open, fully open and really vulnerable with the feelings and emotions. Like I say in all the videos, you definitely want to check to see what's aspecting your moon. Usually hard squares or oppositions is sometimes, depending on what sign and what house it's in, you can kind of see what's going on there. But you know, just being in this place where, you know, um things are just a little, like I said, just a little, could have been just a little distant. Maybe she was separated from her family in some kind of way, or maybe she didn't really have a huge connection to her family, or if she did have a connection to her family, she could have been the black sheep or something like that of the family. Or maybe just not in communication with her original family, like her birth family and things like that. You could have even had some people that were actually adopted as well, so they don't have uh, direct communication with their actual birth family and stuff. Also, too, like I said, you know, you come into this world with this knowledge, you know, especially as a child, just kind of knowing what's going on around you and just kind of questioning the world and how things work and stuff. And so you might have found yourself a lot of time just feeling like you kind of had to figure out your own sense of self and your own kind of emotions. And you could have just, like I said, just had this rebellious streak about the world because you were just so um really against, you know, just the things that are going on in the world and stuff like that. And you knew that at a very young age, like it was innately, you know, implanted in you. And maybe sometimes you just didn't feel always, like I said, just kind of being like an outsider sometimes in the world, but maybe just having like these really, really, really close friends that you were you know, connected to and things like that. So you just kind of move through, not to say that you didn't have a relationship. Some of y'all might have really had a strong relationship with your mother and things like that. But like I said, even she could have been kind of disconnected from her family dynamic. So that kind of made her a little bit disconnected. So it kind of just trickled down to you, you know, through your lineage. Um, she also could have been a part of a like a collective secret society that you never knew about, or some type of cult, or maybe she was actually brought up in a cult in some type of way, or some type of collective, you know, that really shaped a lot of her ideals and how she thinks and how she views the world. And maybe she passed some of those ideals on to you as well. And some of those things you might have not always readily agreed with, but then some things you might have, you know, and maybe as you got older you could have, you know, just really started to understand where she was coming from. Like I said, she also could have been seen as very eccentric as well. Um, if you suppressed, what I say, if you suppressed at a young age, yeah, so if you felt like you were suppressed at a young age and then you get older and you have like this just kind of like zest for freedom and just being in your own space and body and just, you know, just kind of unruly in the world. You could have also had a mother that maybe resented that because maybe there was a part of her that wasn't able to experience that. Like she always wanted to experience that, but she wasn't really able to. So that's another thing that Aquarius or Moon in Aquarius could have experienced too, just with the mothership. Um, but you know, last but not least, just, you know, having a mother who was probably just completely just way ahead of her time, you know. And so maybe she just didn't feel super duper always connected to the things around, you know, just in this reality, you know, world and realm. She could have also had very powerful dreams as well. So that's something that I have a little bit about, you know, just in relation to the mothership here. I would just say just how to alchemize this moon energy is just, I think, more so being in a space of acceptance with, you know, just this side and nature of you. Like I said, the moon a lot of times can be hidden. Being okay with this idea of being your own person and different. You know, we come up in this world, in society, where they want us to all be the same and they want us to all look the same, speak the same, go for the same, you know, rap the same, you know, just, and so just being in this space where you embody you being your own person and you loving that person for exactly who you are. And I think I think the world, I mean, I know we have a lot going on in the world right now, but I think when you know that and you follow that inner guidance that Aquarius naturally has, I think you'll be better off. I think there will be a I would say a bit of um comfort in that. So yeah, that's what I have for, you know, Aquarius moons. We're gonna move on and finish this series up with Pisces. And like I said, I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all think I should do Pluto? I'm gonna do Pluto through the houses. I was gonna start going back to the beginning, which is like sun and through the houses. But let's go ahead and rock with Pluto since we're gonna be experiencing this energy for the next 20 years with that Aquarius. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. All right. So, I think that's about it. Yeah. We like it. We love it. Good. You already know what it is. It's a rainy storm checking in, checking out without a doubt. You know where to find me, link below. I will see y'all on the next one. Finishing up with Pisces moon. All right, deuces.